Hello, good morning. By the way, Gulam was 2 seconds before we started hearing me going. Welcome to a new episode of the Robbos Gobcast Wrestling Podcast. Today we are going to be reviewing Raw, Smackdown, NXT, and a little bit of other news that we haven't covered in that as well. We are back now. Starting this week, we've got 4 days of podcast coming your way. Yesterday, you had the host Adam and David talking about the Reading versus Nottingham Forest game and the build up to Reading versus Birmingham coming up Wednesday. Today, you've got me and Gulam talking all things Reading, and then tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, because that's when, tomorrow when you listen to this or watch this, hold on. I've got to try and remember when I upload stuff here. Tomorrow, when you watch this or listen to this on Wednesday, we are returning with the F1 podcast. It was testing over the weekend, and me and a new team will be back to building up to. We're going to talk a bit about testing the build up to the new season. Then the new day and time of the Reading FC podcast will be Wednesday night / Thursday for you guys, where we will be reviewing the Birmingham game. And we might do it a little bit later this week because the Birmingham game's Wednesday. So we'll probably do another week where we'll do it on a Friday. But Sunday, we are back with the NFL podcast where we'll be reviewing the free agency and all the talk and all the news that's been happening over the past few days as well, and weeks since the last time we've done it. We've got a lot to discuss. We've got a lot to go through, and as the normal, down below in the description is a link to all of our social media pages. And if you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to go and click the subscribe button and click the bell to get instant notification for when we go live. And you'll listen to this on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts, Spotify is the other one. Don't forget to follow, and you will get a notification for when we go in. Right, it's been a busy week. Been a good old busy week of wrestling, hasn't it?
I was going to say, we've been hearing a lot about wrestling. We've been hearing about the COVID, restrictions and everything over here. So much to pick in, so much to take in,
Exactly. We've got a lot to discuss, a lot to go. Let's go in day order like we normally do. Let's go and kick off with Monday Night Raw. I don't know what the fuck that voice was, to be honest. It felt right. It felt right. Drew versus Sheamus. If Soldier Boy wants to tweet out ever again, it's fake. I think you just need to go and look at what happened to Drew and Sheamus, don't you, really?
Pretty much, yeah.
They absolutely fucking annihilated each other, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, the match, we're talking about, which match was it? The one where they had the steps at the end. Yeah, them two. That's what we're talking about, the one with the steps, yeah?
We're talking about just their bodies, what they put themselves both through.
Yeah, that match, I mean, it's like one of those ones where you wonder how can they top the previous one?
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally, I think them two, like I've said it before, them two can definitely have a best of 7 series match at some point down. Well, they've already had 2 so far, so another 5 more to go yet. But I reckon they can get something out of this one.
It's going to be interesting. We talked about this last week on the podcast, so we won't go that too much into it because we did do quite a bit on it last week. And they carry on. We're going to keep talking about it. It was of how much trust they have in each other to put their bodies through and to do what they think is right. And you can see the chemistry these two have and how much. Not only do they get along, but just the love for wrestling that these two have to what these two do is just something that's very rare. Not very rare that much, but it's a dying breed to a certain point of wrestlers that will go to that extent for our entertainment.
And I think that as well, it should be mentioned that a guy like Sheamus and a guy like Drew, it's gonna sound a bit weird when I say this, but them two are basically like, I might be generalizing this a little bit, like, because we're from here in the UK, we kind of know that Scottish and Irish people are basically tough guys that I don't want to steal Danny Burgess line, but basically with them it's literally just a pint and a fight and another pint afterwards, and that's them what I basically like. They got that Celtic connection with them, and in simpler terms, they can literally just beat the shit out of each other, and then they'll be shaking hands and hugging afterwards. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think they pretty much fit that fit that very well. I mean, if anything, they should bring back that bar. Remember that bar with Sheamus with Jeff Hardy?
Mm,
They should do something with that. That'd be
mm,
quite fun. Maybe they could settle their friendship afterwards. Who knows? Something along those
exactly.
lines.
We'll go. Let's move on. We all know how far these two are going to go. We're going to go for something extremely good to something that's extremely. How do I put this? Ah, fuck it. I'm not being politically correct. Extremely shit. Shane McMahon.
Is it
Uh,
wrong? Is it wrong? I laughed a little bit.
it's one of those that it is that bad that you had to laugh.
No, but I don't know what it was. I mean, I'm just a bit of a sucker for stupid lines, but I don't know. It's when he did the I say it. You know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you mean.
It's when he said that I just broke out and laughed. I was like, for fuck's sake.
You know,
It's like
right?
it's
So
like when MSK. It's like when MSK did that Borat impression. I was trying to give a straight face, but then
yeah, hi
they're
there.
like high five. Well, very nice. Can't remember what it was now,
Very
but
nice. I remember I
yeah.
remember sitting there right and thinking, right, Shane McMahon, let's be honest, can be one of the best talkers on the
I like
microphone. All right,
I
let's
like
be
Shane.
honest.
I've always liked Shane. It's just
And
the thing is that I don't know if I can take him being on TV all the time. That's the thing, you
do you
know.
know, I don't mind if he's on TV all the time, if he's in an authority role, like a GM or someone that like what he does, where he makes matches. I wouldn't mind that to see Shane McMahon do that.
I I personally think they missed out on an opportunity to make him WWE champion or world champion when he was red hot as a heel. I think they could have just done that there and just to really piss everyone off, and then
Mm,
he could really really own the whole best in the world thing. I think that was a
yeah,
great opportunity missed.
yeah,
But
and but this just feels wrong. They need to find a way of redoing what they did and
I'm
get
gonna
it
be
going again.
50-50 on it. I mean, we've seen Shane deliver in the ring before with people when people thought was gonna be shit at Mania, and he had a great match with AJ. He had a great match with Undertaker. I said great, not a great, but just a great.
But you know what you're gonna get with Shane McMahon. And that's the thing that I don't think people really get. You know what you're
I
going to
think
get with Shane McMahon because you're going to get someone that when they're in a match, they're going to give it 150%. They know that they're not the most technical. They know that they're not the best wrestler that's going. But whatever they do, they're going to throw themselves, well, him literally throws himself into everything he does.
I just remember now. I remembered his match with the Miz as well. If you remember
Mm.
that one,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
one, that one. I'm not gonna lie, it surpassed my expectations as well by a lot because I think yeah, it's the finish. I remember they did off that balcony or something like that. I thought that was a good way to go.
That's the first time I would say Miz has played babyface, and it worked.
Yeah, I mean, I remember they did it the first time, and even then I couldn't get behind him. But the thing is, I always felt like Miz deserved a better face run, and I think that his face run could have been better if they hadn't dropped him so much because they pretty much had done that. They made him lose to so many guys who just couldn't get behind him, and I think that a lot of that is on the booking. It's not the Miz's fault, and I'm hoping they give him another chance again someday because I think he can be a good face, but it'd have to be a 50-50 booking.
I think it's going to be interesting. I think the way that they can make Miz face again is to for Morrison to turn on the Miz, and I think Morrison as a
The
heel,
thing
what I've
is,
seen his stuff in Impact is very good.
yeah, but the thing is that I think the Morrison is the guy that people want to cheer for more than the Miz. I think Miz is the guy that you could easily turn around saying that holding back Morrison, and people are like, I can see the people getting behind Morrison on that one.
I don't think
Miz
they
is
can.
that
If
guy.
Morrison
Miz is
plays it
Miz
well, I think it will shock more people, and it will go more towards Miz because I feel like if they don't play the card of he was holding me back, like we know John Morrison is so much the more better wrestler, so you can't
exactly.
play that card. So the card you would have to most probably play is I used you for the platform, and I used you to be more relevant while you're on TV to a point where I know I'm better than you, and I don't need you anymore.
Then, but then
That's
it comes down to who loses first. Then I don't know if I want to see Miz lose first or Morrison lose first. That's the trouble.
well, it's interesting now because you've got Valkyrie now in NXT, who could
Yeah.
be, and then you could have Maurice come back for a mixed tag. You've got
That's what I was going to say
so
as well.
many
But
possibilities in that, couldn't you?
I agree with it. The thing is that there's only so many times you can make a mixed match work, mixed tag match work. Especially when it's involved, the family type one as well. But to get back to your point, I wouldn't have a problem with it. What was I going to say? I don't know. It's long-term booking. I'll say that 100%.
Yeah, WWE are
But
not good at that.
they have their ups and downs. I'm not going to be too harsh on it. I mean, they've had a hit and miss every now and then. One miss I'll definitely always say was when they could have done it with Ms. Morrison and Ms. and Maurice versus Mike and Maria, but that's a long story. That's for another. We've already gone through that one.
Yeah. No. That's too much. That's too much of a big platform for Mike and Maria. They deserve where they are in Ring of
People were
Honor.
saying that people just said it should have happened because they were basically like it was like MM versus MM. So
MMMM basically.
Exactly.
Right, let's move on from the Miz and turning him face. One star that's gonna be coming in that they are hyping for quite a lot. Rhea Ripley is coming to Monday Night Raw. Are they building this for her for Mania? For Asuka, she's out at the moment when Shayna Baszler decided to kick her tooth to the third row.
And funny enough, no one seems to be holding it against her like they would.
Well, no, because if you look at Shayna's reaction immediately afterwards, and this is the one thing that I took away from
hang on a second. I'm not saying that she didn't do it by accident. I'm saying that even if it was by accident, if anyone else had done it even by accident, still apologize, they'd still be getting grief for it.
I don't think they would. I think that this is Shayna Baszler's first incident that
I've seen it plenty of times. I've seen it plenty of times on internet land. Trust me, people are straight to that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck what.
I'm not having a go at Shayna for it. I'm just saying that so far, I'm sure there are people that have done it. You just had to search harder for it, but.
Well, they've already put Shayna in a tough situation, sitting there with Nia Jax and Reginald with that weird shit that's happening over there.
That's funny. Come on, you can't hate that.
It's just fucking weird. Anyway, we'll get into that a little bit.
We'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
A special word for that one.
I've got a special noise.
Is that your orgasm noise? Is it?
No, my orgasm noise is The Rock. So Rhea Ripley coming. Is she going to be going straight in and going at the main event of WrestleMania with Asuka and most probably Charlotte?
I'm going to say yes and no. The reason why I say no is because I can definitely see either. Excuse me. What I meant by no is that I can see it being yes to Charlotte, but no. Yes to Charlotte, but just Charlotte, not with Asuka. It could still be with Asuka, but I'm still going to say it's more with Charlotte right now because I don't know if Asuka's going to be cleared for Mania. She might be, depending on the severity of the situation.
It'd be interesting because I think Asuka deserves to be in main event WrestleMania type with what she's done since picking up that title since Money in the Bank, if I'm right, where she won Money in the Bank and
anyway.
Becky Lynch passed it over to her. I think it'd be good. I think that would be a good way to carry it on. I
think I do wonder if it's ever a good idea to take someone off TV for as long as they did with Rhea, because we last saw her at the Rumble, and that's been it really. So
I think it's good for the hype.
I think it's good for the hype. I think that
people really want her, and when they get her, they're gonna get her. And I think it's all about Vince's repackaging type thing that he does.
I know the thing is, I don't know how they can really. I say I don't know, then it was fun anyway. But the thing is, I don't really know what you can really do to repackage her. I mean,
easily call her Rhea, have her come down to like Naomi music, and still be mental. I think that's the way to do it.
I don't know if that's going to happen anyway.
By the way, Vince, if you're listening to this, please don't do that. Please don't do that.
When you make suggestions, when you make suggestions like that, and then you say, "Oh, don't say that," you kind of pretty much, shooting yourself in the foot right there. Yeah. But I'm just going to say I don't think they're going to change Rhea too much. Just take my word. Just take my word for what you will. I think that they're going to keep her the same as she is. They're just going to tweak up a few things, maybe give her a nickname or two.
Let's see.
I think she suits Raw because of the fact she's got the right initials for it, so Triple R or something like that. But Rhea Ripley Law, Raw, something along those lines. But I remember Jim, our favorite guy, Jim Conner. I remember he said that Rhea's basically like an action star, so I can see her fitting the role of that, if that makes sense.
So I'm going to go from hyped, and we were going to talk about this after all of it on finishing off, but I have to say something. I can't hold it in any longer.
Go for it.
Andrade.
Oh yes.
So there's reports coming out which apparently are true that over the at the taping of Monday Night Raw last week, Andrade turned up and requested his release from WWE, which, according to those reports, within minutes, I don't even think it was minutes apparently, Vince McMahon rejected it and denied it and says that he is staying. So,
I mean, we can't really. You don't know how accurate these reports are anyway. I mean, he might have applied for, but he might have came into asked for his release, and they might have talked him out of it with a storyline because no one said anything. We don't know yet because we're already told what the Dirt Sheets have said.
So
but that said,
go on.
Yeah, sorry.
No. Because I was gonna go on a rant. So I'll let you moan. I'll let you say your bit first before I go on my rant.
I'm not gonna moan. I was moaning the other day about it to myself, which is a bit pointless. But yeah, I'm hoping Manny. His real name is Manny. Alfonso Andrade or Oropeza. I just read that off. Who cares? I'm hoping that Manny makes is okay. Why are you shrugging your head at me?
Yeah, right. Even if you didn't say that you read that off, I would have believed you. You should have just kept it. I do that normally half the time. I normally say shit and then carry on.
I'm like Paul Heyman. I'm honest, even when I lie. Okay,
that's very true.
Right,
we're gonna get onto it later on. By the way,
all right. Yeah. So as I say, I'm hoping Manny. I'm hoping he's going to be okay. I mean,
right, you've had your time. I want to moan now.
Anything yet? Come on,
I've built in for long enough. Right, so this pisses me off more than not seeing Aleister Black. This pisses me off more than Keith Lee. This pisses me off more than any other talent that's come up from NXT to here. Okay, because you can tell that Andrade's got something. Okay, Aleister Black hasn't really hit it. Keith Lee will get there, but he needs a lot of work. And Vince McMahon is putting in the effort to make him the way he is, as we saw from the 24/7 documentary. So Andrade is someone who I think has been another victim of Zelina Vega's selfishness of leaving WWE. So
it's also but it's not just that as well. It's also he was a Paul Heyman project, and I hate to put Meltzer over it, but he said because it was a Paul Heyman project. The minute Paul Heyman was out, Manny, Andrade was pretty much dead. After that.
So in my opinion, I think that there is work that Andrade is a star, is a megastar, 100%. Is a future WWE champion. Easily, no one can deny that. So I was thinking about this, and what annoyed me the most was how I don't understand how creative can't find something for Andrade. All right.
I'm surprised on that one myself. I mean, they could easily just put him with Charlotte Flair. They could just move on from there. I mean,
exactly. This is
we already know they're getting married soon.
Exactly. This is what I tweeted out the other day. Okay, and this is what I do. Right, the only downfall Andrade has is his promos. That's the only downfall Andrade has is his promos, and it's not because before says because he doesn't. No, it's just everything about Andrade's promos are not good. That's why it works so well with Zelina.
It makes me laugh when people say he can't speak English when he obviously can if he's getting married to Charlotte Flair.
So the thing that what I get is right. Charlotte Flair at the moment is stagnating. Let's be honest. With what they're doing, they're bringing back the generic Charlotte Flair that we all know that Vince McMahon loves to do. Goes away from TV a while, comes to Mania season. She goes, I am the queen. I'm the greatest. I deserve championship. Give me WrestleMania. And then she goes on and does it. So why not change it up a bit? And I tweeted this the other day. I was having a shower or a bar. I can't remember. But I was thinking about this and I thought, why do they not have Charlotte Flair and Andrade together, right? So you could use this dynamic as I wouldn't use this dynamic the same as Andrade and Selena because you're never going to get that dynamic same. So what you do is you make them on equal grounds, right? Andrade helps Charlotte. Charlotte helps
Yeah.
Andrade. Andrade wins the title, and then Charlotte wins the title for Andrade. Andrade wins the title for Flair. Then they become the power couple that we all think at one day, at some point, most probably in the near future, that Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are going to be. They're going to come back and they're going to do that. So why not? Even if it's for the time being where you don't get Andrade wrestling, just for the time being where you get him involved in a storyline with Charlotte, bring him back into the fold. Then you can bring in Garza and everyone else that wants to go back with him and do all of that thing again. You've just got to find a way of Andrade because he is the next mega superstar that WWE need, right? And
Yeah.
losing him, and he can easily go to New Japan because he's got a faction out there already that he was there before. He was
He's
in
got his mate over in Ring of Honor as well.
exactly. He's got Ring of Honor. He's got AAA, a Lucha Underground as well that he can easily go back to. But he needs to be a mega worldwide superstar. And the only way he's going to be the mega worldwide superstar is not on little indie shows, is to be on the biggest platform. And that's no offense to indies, because indie shows still generate massive amount of numbers. But if you go wrestling to anyone in the streets ever, the first instinct is WWE or
Exactly.
WWF, whatever. So you got to build that around him. The matches he had with Rey Mysterio was some of the best matches that you will see.
Mate, I still remember watching those matches, and I was tweeting myself. Oh, sorry, I was tweeting. Just imagine him versus Eddie Guerrero, man. Them lot would have had infinity style matches. And I'm actually not lying. I say it does hurt me when I see that happening to Andrade, because I still remember watching him come in to NXT, and I was like, "This is the next big thing, the next big star coming in." And like I said, I'm just trying to be the hopeful kid I am. I'm just trying to hope that they might still find a way to work with him, and it's just a slight bump, if you will, that they're just trying to work around.
Yeah,
they can easily work around it. I mean, all it just takes is just a bit more convincing, good storyline, and bring him in, and he can easily he'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, 1 second, phone call. Hello. Yeah, I'm just thinking that I think. What was I gonna say? Yeah, literally, I think it's something they can easily work around. It's just down to who's talking and who's handling it. And I'm gonna hope. I'm assuming Charlotte Flair has had a hand in trying to, work around it as well. So.
Well, I did see, or I did hear, or the reports are saying that John Laurinaitis is back as head of talent relations, I think. So maybe he's got in his ear and said, "We will fund something for you," and maybe that will help.
I don't, I've heard people, talk a lot of shit about John Laurinaitis. Say John Laurinaitis. I love him. He was funny. I like him. But yeah, I remember people were saying a lot of stuff about him, being this guy and that, he was like this, things like that. But I've also heard guys like Kenny Omega, Stevie Richards, Blue Meanie as well. A lot of these guys have said that he's actually an all right guy, and he was always cool with them, and always looking out for them as talents and whatnot. So I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna assume that he's not as bad a guy as people make him out to be in 1 second. Yeah, I think people, talk too much, like, a lot of it stems from, what CM Punk said in his promo years ago. So, that doesn't help as well. But I think I'm thinking Johnny Ace deserves a break, and who knows, he might be able to convince him. And if not, I guess he'll be the next clear out when they do the next clear out in a month or two.
So going from a Mexican wrestler who is going to be a star to a paper champion, the cruiserweight division in NXT, we're now going to be going over to NXT, where it has come out that the you never bet against the ace, Jordan Devlin, will be turning up at
I bet
NXT.
you got so excited.
Oh, I saw it and I got a massive erection.
Sure you did.
Absolutely. Now we can actually tell that paper champion can actually go off and get destroyed by Karrion Kross so easily, because he's an absolute pansy and can gets destroyed against the Irish
I
Ace.
do wonder what crack you take when you watch these shows.
I watch shows that tell me the truth, and the truth tells me
I
that
said I wonder what crack you're taking when you watch these shows.
this crack is not even real. The only crack that Escobar needs to be worried about is the crack when Jordan Devlin gives him a nice little wedgie because he's going to be utter shit.
All I'm gonna say is that just if it makes you happy and make me happy a little bit, I just want to see if this is the way to do it, then that's the way to get my guy off of NXT and onto some bigger things. That's what I'm gonna say.
He'll go off of NXT and go back to Lucha Underground because he's shit. Get him
Are you
out.
actually saying this?
Fucking shit.
Are you actually saying this?
No, I'm winding you up. It's more fun winding
course
you
you
up,
are.
to be honest.
You're not winding me up. I know you're chatting shit anyway.
So I'm going to take my Jordan Devlin biased hat off and put my impartial side on. I personally think Escobar is a very good wrestler, and I think he's got a massive future, but he's not the real champion. We all know that if it wasn't due to this pandemic, he wouldn't be holding the title. And because Jordan Devlin was stuck in Ireland and he couldn't come over and everything was shut down.
It could have always been Swerve if it wasn't, if the pandemic wasn't the case.
Yeah, but
it could have always eventually ended up on him at one point.
What,
Who knows?
Swerve?
Yes.
I would have rather have bloody James Ellsworth, to be honest.
What's wrong with the Swerve?
Oh, I'm not getting into it because I'll be here all day.
Just because you don't like him doesn't mean he's not good.
He's terrible. His attitude does not meet his. Anyway, I'm not going into Swerve because I'll go on all day. So let's be honest. Jordan Devlin is, and let's be very much be honest here, is Triple H's favorite child, and we all know that. We all know Triple H loves Jordan Devlin, and Jordan Devlin loves WWE, and WWE loves Jordan Devlin. Escobar is someone who's going to go on to bigger things, but Jordan Devlin is so much better. I've seen Jordan Devlin in person. I've seen him wrestle, and he is 20 times better
be impartial.
Shitty Escobar. That was my impartial head. Our impartial sort of went off halfway through because I couldn't be bothered being nice about him.
You literally, I swear to God, all I heard for like the past 20 seconds was Jordan Devlin. I love Jordan Devlin.
Yeah, I've got his top somewhere as well. I think in my drawer. I think I got Jordan Devlin.
Oh God.
I got that with my wrestle crate that I had.
It's a good thing I know you, mate. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, I know. So we got that going from a paper champion to new championships. We have new NXT Women Tag Team titles that will put on
in one night.
Yeah, they were put on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, and then lost within about an hour. I think it was maybe 2.
Does that make them the shortest reigning?
No, because I think shortest reigning champions or shortest reigning NXT Women's Champions?
NXT Tag Team Champion, NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the shortest ever. They could have held that on for a year, and they would have been the shortest reigning.
Yeah, my point is, imagine trying to top that.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine trying to top that shortest reign.
Unless you bring a Money in the Bank tag titles and someone new wins it, and then you cash in on it. That would be interesting. Anyway, so new women's NXT tag titles. They do look beautiful. They do look excellent.
They're okay. They look nice, but I don't think they're that great as we make them out to be honest.
Well, no, they're exactly the same as the men's, but I think with white straps.
Exactly. Looks like all it has is NXT real on it. That's all it is. Nothing special.
As I said last week, I went on a rant last week and I said that I think it's a very good idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think this is the opportunity now that WWE can have to use this as a platform to create actual tag teams, actual women's tag teams, instead of just two people that have got nothing to do, put them together to put them in a tag team. I think you can generate much more interest in women's tag team wrestling, and you can train them more into tag team wrestling. Because look, this is a new thing. The only time this has been done before without WWE was the Knockouts tag titles, and that was years ago with Angelina Love and Velvet Sky that had them at the Beautiful People. Beautiful People, what are they called?
What was that?
Was Angelina Love and Velvet Sky called the Beautiful People?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
And Madison Rain. And Lacey
Yeah,
Von Erich.
but I don't class them two as the Beautiful People. The Beautiful People was Velvet Sky and Angelina Love. Madison Rain was someone who was a very good wrestler, but I would never class her in that. She had the crown at one point, if I remember, and she was very. That was the Eric. Was that the Eric Bischoff Hulk Hogan era?
Yes.
I think it. Yeah. Anyway, less talked about that, the better. So, what do you think about this? The new title, not the new titles, but what do you think about the new division adding up?
With the tag teams.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't all for it at first, but I guess it gives them something to work with. I just think that I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I just think there's always, it just adds more, to try and keep up with. That's all.
Yeah, I get that. I get that to a certain point, but at the same time, I think women's wrestling is coming on so far that I feel like they deserve more titles, and I feel like they deserve an opportunity now to. Let's be honest, the tag teams on Raw and SmackDown now are interesting because they're not that interested because you've got Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and let's be honest, there is no credible tag teams on Raw or SmackDown right now to actually beat them. So
that's the thing. That's the thing, is that it's hard to you can only beat them. I think there'll be a case you'd have to beat them once, then they have to split up. But for some reason, they've kept them together still.
But no, I think this is why I think the NXT Women's Tag Team divisions is going to be good, because now you can build credible challengers for the champions of Raw and SmackDown, whoever in the future. I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for it.
It looks like they're going to go that way anyway, so it's not like. But yeah, to answer your question, I guess this is the best way. This is the best way to move forward, and to give those who haven't had an opportunity to work, for something, to get them to work for something. So yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Right, let's move on to another championship match that happened. Finn Balor versus Adam Cole, baby, for the NXT Championship.
I was hoping they'd give him a new theme song, but looks like he's going to hold that for a little bit.
I think they're going to change. Adam Cole's always going to be known for that one. That's why I think Roderick Strong's got a new one. I think Kyle O'Reilly probably have a new one.
Yeah, he's always going to have a new one. Come on, look at him. Didn't you see that? I was going to try to say it later, but yeah, you can tell he's going to get a new one. But what I'm saying is that I think Adam can get a new one easily. They just have to change it a lot.
I think it's the same thing with Roman Reigns, though, isn't it? You could say the same thing about him as well. I think they will change them, but just not yet.
It's the thing about Roman was he said it's going to be changed, but I can't remember when he said it, but I remember he said it will be when there's a new audience there they want to have it for. So it might be at Mania, I'm hoping.
I heard it could be Mania as well.
So, well, that's a month away. We've only got less than a few weeks to find out. So 3 weeks to be exact. So 3-4 weeks. So
I still don't get why Fastlane's coming up.
I haven't got a problem with it.
Makes no sense.
But then what was I going to say? What was I going to say again? Yeah, Undisputed Era's theme song. I never really was a big fan of it. I mean, it's a good song and everything, but it never sounded original. It sounded like the NWO theme song too much. And yeah, I mean, I think it's about time to move. That's the best way to move from it, and just what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it. Kyle O'Reilly come back, as I predicted. I knew this would happen. Yeah. I think I predicted this last week on the podcast.
It looked like he's trying to steal Moxley's outfit the way he was dressed up.
Or Moxley was copying Kyle O'Reilly.
I don't think Mox is going to copy a guy who's 5 inches taller than and probably at 30 pounds heavier on a good day. I'm not saying that in a bad way.
Who knows? So it looks like that they are building, because it has been announced that TakeOver is going to be doing a WrestleMania, and it will be a 2-night special on a Wednesday and Thursday, if I'm right. A Wednesday and Thursday, where WrestleMania will be going on the Saturday and Sunday, with the Hall of Fame on the Tuesday, which the first...
Let me just add.
Yeah, cool.
And let me just add a congratulations to Molly Holly for
Yeah, I was
getting
going to say,
inducted. I
fully
can't say I
deserved.
knew. I can't say I remember her that well when I was growing up. I do remember her obviously when she was with Hurricane. I remember. I do remember seeing her hold the women's championship at one point. And one thing I'll never forget is when she had her head shaved, which speaks volumes for her as a company person and whatnot. So, I think that alone deserves obviously what she's on
See,
outside as well, helping the women's division and everything. So
so
yeah, I'm
for
all for it.
me, I remember Molly Holly as in the toughest out of all the women that was around. I remember her as in she was a legitimate, could kick your head in, and she was the one who really stood out because she did that
I can't remember. That's the thing. It's on a
front
long
flip
time.
thing that she used to land on people, and
Yeah.
she was so good at doing that she, for me, is fully deserved. And congratulations,
What is
going from that.
what is I can't remember that well. I can't remember that well as everyone else makes up. So I'm only saying what I can say. So
Yeah, no, go
yeah,
for it.
nothing but respect for her. And, I'm glad that she's getting inducted. People are saying, "Oh, but the Bellas are going in." Of course, they're going in. They were there, for years, and they worked just as hard as everyone else. I'm not gonna lie, they were annoying as well at times, but they were there and they paved way for the women of today. So
Exactly. I always think, and I go back and I always look back sometimes and think about it, and there was eras in WWE that women weren't that okay. So the way I'm gonna try and put this in a nice way is the way WWE was back then is the way that AEW is treating their women now. Is they're not much TV time, not much is going on, and when they're on, they're
oh,
like
hang
here
on a
and there,
second. Let me
like
just say,
5 seconds.
the women back in the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era. When you look at women like Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler, Molly, etc., those women, the reaction they got from the audience was deafening. They got a loud reaction.
Do you remember Candice
We
Michelle?
don't see that with. Yes, I do remember
Right. Do you
Candice Michelle.
remember when it first come out that apparently she did the naughty stuff on camera?
I found out that in a different way.
Right. I remember this, and I remember, right, my family don't watch this, so that's fine. I remember this, and I remember Googling to try and find it for about an hour. For about an hour.
I found it on LimeWire somehow. I didn't know how that works.
I remember watching telly, and there was the naughty channel coming on about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I remember putting this crappy naughty film on, right, just to see what it was like, and it was the softcore crap, and I was watching it, and Candice Michelle walked on, and I went, going on here.
Good times, eh?
Anyway,
Good times, eh?
we've got.
Yeah, what I was saying is that
Yeah, let's move on quite quickly, please.
What I'm trying to get at is if you look at the women from that time, whether they were great workers or not is another argument. I think that you can say what you want to say. They worked with the TV time they were given, and they could take bumps that were dangerous, even when they with the amount of training they had. They still got a reaction from the audience, and they were literally, almost like everyone, they got respected and were given them pops.
Yeah.
Today's audience doesn't give them that reception as much. I'm not just talking about AEW, I'm talking about everyone.
I think we need to have a podcast on that on its own for that. I think that's its own podcast, which we will do at some point. Where I think
I'm just saying.
I would like to.
I'm just saying. All I'm trying to say is that people from the past, everyone was a star.
Yeah,
we don't get that as much nowadays.
In the future planning of podcasts, is I would like to do at some point in the future when I get into the routine of this job and after Mania and all this sort of that, is I want to do 2 podcasts a week. One about a review of WWE in general, and then I want to have a topic like women's wrestling, TLC, Mania. Have a topic that we can discuss on and what we think the future holds of it. And I think we will do that in the future. I think it's a great idea, and get people on as well. I want to bring people on as well that will come on and discuss their roles in wrestling and what they think. But that's enough for the future. Let's move on. At the end of the match between Adam Cole, baby, and Finn Balor, the Prince, there was a certain individual that was stood behind Finn Balor. Tick.
It's funny. I kind of guessed that as well. I don't know why. I mean, I thought Kross is going to be involved in this for some reason,
And that's why
obviously he showed up.
everyone's watching this. You can now see why the thumbnail is Finn Balor and Karrion Kross. Anyway, because this is
I think.
do you know what? This is how hyped I am. I'm fucking shaking the
One
camera.
second.
You can answer the phone, baby.
Yeah,
We're
carry on.
back, baby. No, right. So hype
Yeah.
level is at 1,000,000 right now. I'm not gonna lie. I am so excited for this match. Okay, Karrion Kross for me is the beast that is the beast. Right, Finn
I think I say the
Balor.
beef from the east.
No, that's Brock Lesnar who's in his farm. So for me,
Too busy milking his cows.
or camel, whatever tickles his fancy.
Or sable. Mm-hmm.
I wonder what she
Volcano
looks
full.
like these days. Anyway.
Google it. I'll leave you to it. I mean, she's not bad in my opinion, but each to their own.
I'm gonna talk, and then when I go quiet, it's because you lot realize while I'm googling. So
Is that because you're tapping one hand?
oh god no. I can't do that. I'm too old for that. So
Yeah, it doesn't work anymore.
no, I've got 2 kids and it died. So for me, my personal opinion on this is the match that's going to define Finn Balor or Kross. We all know that this is Karrion Kross, that Finn Balor's best work he's done in WWE. Full stop. Okay, this is not the best work he's done before he got called up. This is his best work he's ever done. He is one of the best NXT champions that have happened in a very long time. Even with Adam Cole and all of those eras, the Finn Balor era is excellent, but he will have that question mark over him because Karrion Kross dropped the title before he could defend it because he had the same type of injury I think Finn had when he
Like a curse.
dropped the Universal title. So this for me is who is the greatest in NXT, right? And I don't want Kross to win. All right. As much as I love Kross and I think Kross is one of the best superstars in WWE right now, I don't want Kross to win because I want him to go on Raw or SmackDown and fucking destroy everyone.
The thing is, I'm the same way as well on that one. The problem is, I don't know if I could say Kross is the best thing coming to NXT or best superstar of NXT of all time because his run really hasn't been that long. When you think about it, he debuted around May, June last year, yeah. And then he was there for about 3 months, 4 months, wrecking havoc. And then around August, he got his big match. Then he got injured. And he was off TV for like 3-4 months. So in short, he hasn't really been here that long. But he made a good impact. Not taking that away from him. Part of the pun as well. But he had a he showed that he's got something special about him. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just a case of that he hasn't really shown what he is. I mean, I guess he's that guy that doesn't really have to because he's a big guy. He's just going to come in there and say you're doing suplex the shit out of everyone and all that. Yeah, I think that we could have still seen a bit more from him. A bit more development, if that makes sense. And yeah, I don't know if I'd call him the greatest superstar of all time. Probably the best star come into NXT. Yeah, I'll give him that. Would I put him in the top 10 stars of NXT? A bit of a tough one there as well when you've got, guys who were there longer than before him. Top 10 guys in NXT, you'd have to obviously include Balor there. You'd have to include, Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who himself wasn't even that long but made a quick impact very fast, etc., etc. So I don't know if I'd include him on that list as well. Probably just about scraped in there. But you can see where I'm going with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
she's 53. Not gonna lie, I was googling.
While I was doing that talking, you were too busy trying to. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, to put it simply, I think Kross. I don't want to be that guy that says this, but I think Kross should pretty much just move from NXT anyway and just go to the main roster, and should just step into the ring with guys like Orton, guys like Edge, guys like Seth, AJ, Roman.
I really want to see Kross versus Edge.
Same here, but I don't know why. But for some reason, I think Kross versus Roman is even better as well.
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
what it
no.
is.
There's so many
I don't know.
possibilities.
I don't know what
feel
it
like
is. I mean, I
Kross.
think them two just have that. Them two could easily mix well together. I don't know what it is. There's just something about them two, but I just think they got that. Just the, I don't know. He's got that. They both got that aura about them, that dark aura,
Yeah.
which has worked. And obviously you've got Paul Heyman in the mix, and you've got Scarlett in the mix, so it'll be very interesting to see where it goes.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
And yeah, obviously it'll be good to see a guy. Obviously we've seen crossing the ring with guys like Dijak and Priest and Keith Lee, but after that it was just him, facing a lot of guys that are barely half his size. So it'll be good to see him in the ring with guys who are actually up to his size, or even bigger than him again.
Right, let's move on to Friday Night SmackDown. Let's get through this quite quickly because we've done this podcast quite long because we do love NXT on this show. On this, we both love NXT. So we always give that a little bit longer than the others. So the first one I want to get into and get it over and done with very, very quickly. Fucking Reginald and Nia Jax. Done. Next thing.
You didn't even say anything yet. Can I just say I thought that segment was funny. I didn't have a problem with it. I pretty know what you're saying, but I think it's pretty fair to say that Nia's become Reginald's sugar mama.
Oh no!
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if I was him, I'd be doing the same thing as well. Getting all the expensive suits, good clothes, having her pay for it, and just satisfying her with my loving.
Anyway, moving on.
Like you wouldn't. Obviously, come on.
Of course I wouldn't. Of course I would do what he's doing. I'm not stupid. Jesus.
Would you sit on Nia's lap?
For what she's given him, absolutely.
I'm just gonna leave it at that because I'm sure your wife will listen to the rest of this.
No, she won't give a shit anyway. So
would you call Nia mummy?
If she was giving me money, absolutely. So a match that I'm really, really excited for, and I think could be very interesting. It might be happening on SmackDown, might be happening at Fastlane. Seth Rollins versus Shitsuke Nakamura. A match that
I got hyped for that when I saw it.
A match that it's been building for a long time. The only time it's please
happened before, but it wasn't. It happened once, but it was one of those brand matches. I remember because they were on separate brands at that time. So
was it? Hold on, didn't it happen once?
It happened in 2019, I think 2018 or 2019, I think.
Was it a Survivor Series?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I do remember Shinsuke was a heel, so. And I think Seth was still a face at that time, so I think that I remember.
No, that would have been after the NXT Survivor Series then, because that year was the main. Anyway,
but yeah, definitely, I think this is a great match, for Seth and Shinsuke. I think this will literally because them two. I think it'll be great to see Shinsuke wrestling him as a face, and obviously Seth being the heel that he is, and simply put it, them two would just tear the house down easily.
Easily, this could be one of the best matches of the year. Easily by far.
I've said it could be. I've said it's Mania worthy, to be honest.
100%.
So,
but I would. Do you know what I would love to see at Mania? Rollins versus Shinsuke versus Cesaro.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well. The thing is that part of me also wants to see that as well, so that could work. But then it's a case of who takes the pin. So I think Seth takes the pin, but I mean, sorry, what I'm going to say is who gets the win.
Oh, that would be Cesaro.
It should be Cesaro, but then a part of me says it should be Shinsuke as well.
I think Shinsuke has more to gain from not winning than he does winning.
But the thing is that when you look back at his history, he hasn't really won any Mania. That's the thing. So,
faced AJ and lost. Who was the one before that?
After that, I don't think he really had that many matches on Mania.
He hasn't had, has he? I can't remember. Right,
let's
move on to Sasha versus Bianca. Sasha doing "I'm the person now."
Can I just say I really just zone out whenever she talks.
Bianca is the rookie. She doesn't deserve the title.
It's
Anyway,
funny because I've seen apparently people are saying that Bianca hasn't worked hard enough for it. I'm like, people were saying that I was never watched her on NXT because she worked so hard from day one.
all right. If you could pick up Otis on your shoulders and carry him, you fucking worked hard enough. You can, even if you
But
just
my point is,
do that.
my point is that like, this is a woman who was literally on the same brand with Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai,
I agree.
Shayna Baszler, and it was never going to be easy for her to be the star that she wanted to be when she has them lot to try and compete against, while still trying to outshine them, while wooing the crowd and being that star, and then falling still second place. I mean, that still kind of irks me a little bit, to be honest. She had to play second. I feel like she really was Mrs. NXT.
Mm-hmm.
She was.
Yeah.
So I think she's long deserved for this. Yep.
Let's get into the final thing that's happening on SmackDown. Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns at Fastlane, but Edge is going to be the special enforcer, maybe with Jey Uso as well, for the match. I don't want to talk about the match. I want to talk about the promo that Paul Heyman did on Talking Smack, okay? And I want to discuss it in...
I haven't seen it yet.
Right, so...
I haven't seen it yet.
So the promo on it was absolutely sublime. Okay, so basically, yes. So the outline of it was he goes, even your best friend doesn't want to be a target for Roman Reigns, so his Christians went off to somewhere else to go and do it. You're trying to get involved with this. You have pissed off Roman Reigns. No one wants to piss off Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is going to show you on Daniel Bryan why he's going to destroy you at WrestleMania. I've seen, okay, I'm tipping this right now. This match is not going to end with a pinfall. This match is going to end in building up Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns versus Edge at WrestleMania.
You see, that kind of leaves a bit of a, to me, because I want it to just be Roman and it.
I don't. I thought about this, and I was very much, I wanted Edge versus Roman, very much that mindset the whole time, and thinking about it. But I'm thinking about this. You've got Edge, who is the ultimate opportunist, right? Let's be honest. He can manipulate any situation into what he wants. You've got Roman Reigns, who is someone that could do what he wants, destroy people, and we all know he can destroy them and then do what he wants. He's the head of the table. You can then, there is that gap for the ultimate heel, hard-working fighter of Daniel Bryan, never gives up, the old John Cena mentality, as I call it. Fights his way through everything, does everything they can to get the win. And I think Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, and Edge is the perfect, perfect match, in my opinion.
I suppose in a way it could be that one of the latter takes a pin anyway, so it might just help one or the other. So I guess that does work, but that part of me just wanted to be Roman versus Edge.
See, I think if Daniel Bryan takes the pin, he will take the pin on Edge. Edge will pin him for the title, okay? Which will then, Roman will then get the extra incentive to win his title back, and then Edge can play it with it, can go off, face other people while Roman gets occupied for a while with Daniel Bryan, and then gets occupied maybe with Seth Rollins and this and that. And you don't need. I think the SmackDown is the perfect blend of, you don't need, if you lose the title, he doesn't need to get that title back. There's so many different varies that you could do on it.
I've tweeted this a few times. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I tweeted that what I like about SmackDown is the way they keep their feuds fresh, the way they keep their matches fresh, the development and etc. I think that is pretty much the reason why SmackDown is the most watchable show right now.
Yeah,
hands down. And I've also said that SmackDown is the home of the heels, the house of the heels, because there's so many heels there, like Roman, Apollo Crews, Otis, Corbin. Chad Gable, Corbin. There's so many heels there. It's like they should literally call themselves the House of Heels, because they've got all of them. I'm surprised no one's even clocked on that yet.
I agree. I think it's going to be so let's get it. So that's the end of SmackDown. Doing it now. We're going to finish off some with other news. Jim Cornette.
Oh god.
So
Can I just say, when I came on Twitter, I hadn't been on my phone all day. When I came on Twitter, as soon as I saw that Miro Rusev, we will call him. As soon as I saw him said he said something, as soon as I heard that he said something,
it's a shit name. I'm calling him Rusev.
It's his real name.
I don't care. I'm calling him Rusev. Rusev sounds so much better.
His real name is actually Miroslav. How does that sound?
That sounds better, actually. I'll take that.
Oh my days. Okay, listen. As soon as I saw that he said that, I was like, as soon as I saw he said something, I was like, oh god, what's he said now? I was just like, he's calling Jim Cornette, he's gonna beat him up and this and that. I'm just like, oh, you're really going this way now? That was just really happening? Because I've already heard Jim Cornette trash him, and I've already heard him say this, and I'm just like, because what happened was apparently he said something about Penelope Ford.
Yeah, he called her a slut.
Well, his exact words were, let me just bring it up again. He called her a blue. Well, he didn't call her a slut. He said that, but he also said that for someone who's had relations with Jelly Nutella, Joey, what's his name? Joey,
Ryan.
You know what I'm talking about? No, not Joey Ryan.
That Joey swinging dickhead. Let's
not get into that one, please. Joey Janela, that's it. When he said that, when he said when somebody's had relations with her, somebody should get medical help after that. That's what he said as well. But he said something else about her, like
yeah, he sort of went in and I'm 100% with. I think I'm not. We all know Jim Cornette says stuff these days just to stay relevant. He doesn't say things that. I actually think that he believes in 90% things he actually says.
I don't know. I don't know. I've heard people try and defend it with like always just doing to stay funny and all that. And if that's true, how desperate can he be to stay funny if you're saying?
He's so desperate. He's so desperate.
I think that a lot of it might just be him saying it, just saying that if I say I'm not going to get a lot of hate for it, so I'm just going to say anyway. So.
But and lastly, I want to get your reaction to this. It has been announced. Ish.
I'm looking forward to his reply tomorrow on his podcast because it's going to be so funny there. I know he's called Miro. I know he's called Miro fat. He's called Ryback fat as well. So it makes me. He calls him Fatback. So yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what he calls him.
Yeah. So it has been announced this morning or today or yesterday that the Bella Twins are coming back to WWE by the end of 2021. They have said that they are getting themselves back fit. They are getting themselves back ready on their podcast, and they say that they will be coming back to WWE at some point. Okay. What is your reaction to that?
I mean, I never had a problem with the Bella Twins, to be honest. I mean, I've always said before, whenever they came out, they got a loud reaction, a very loud reaction. So, they take that how you will. I mean, I remember when Nikki Bella came back when she was supposed to be a heel to tag with Alexa, wasn't it? Yeah, Alexa and Mickey, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember it was when she came. Well, she came tagging as a heel anyway, and the reaction she got from the audience was like a face. Mm-hmm. So to put it simply, I've always thought the Bellas always get a reaction whether you like it or not. So, while that might sound like a generic answer, but the truth is, if they didn't get they didn't get an answer, then they failed. Simple as.
Yeah, so my opinion on the Bella Twins is I think that they should complete the set and win the tag titles. Personally,
and I've always thought Nikki doesn't get enough credit for it as a worker. I thought she improved quite a lot over the years, and I thought she did a pretty good Alabama Slammer, to be honest.
She improved a lot when she was with Cena, and she seemed to improve a lot under then. But look, if they want to come back,
I don't think Brie was ever that bad. I mean, she came back. Excuse me. When she came back from her pregnancy, she was a bit sloppy, let's be honest, but it was understandable why.
Liv Morgan?
Yeah, she concussed her.
And then didn't she do those botch diving through the ropes that she should never
Yes. That's what I'm trying to say is that she didn't have a great return
ever
from a pregnancy.
do that
But
again?
that doesn't mean she can't work. It was just bad timing, really. I think it might have been she wasn't ready as well. But that said, what I'm trying to get at is that I think that they don't get enough credit as the workers they were, and for carrying that women's division for the time they had it. Whether people liked it or not is another argument. That's up to them. I'm just saying they were given something, and they carried it.
Yeah. For me, I think if you look at the time of when the Bella Twins were around and what they did for the women's division to carry it to a point where they started the women's wrestling movement.
Where you want to call it, but all I'm also going to say is that I think people forget when they made their return at Mania years ago. Which one was? I remember. I think it was with Sandow and Cody Rhodes. I remember now. That's a lifetime ago. Yeah, it was when them two were tag team, and they came back with them, and that reaction they got from the crowd was something. What I'm trying to say was that people seem to forget the good times and try and remember the shitty times, like the whole. I wish you died in the womb. I remember that. You remember that, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. But my point is that for as many bad times as they had a lot of good times as well. It just depends which one you remember.
Yeah, and I think that they did what they did and they did it successfully, and I think they do deserve to go into the Hall of Fame.
Let me also add that I never liked when they had Ronda go out there and trash Nikki, and they basically came up with the whole, all you ever did was knock on John Cena's door. I'm like,
that was epic.
It was funny. No, it was funny, but I'm just going to say is that it's kind of like tiresome. I mean, well, we already know that them two are together. Like, what does it mean? Like, oh, she has sex with a guy. She has sex with a top star. So many guys have done that. It's like, it's not like there's something I heard before.
That was epic.
Kind of, I thought it was a bit of a cheap shot, to be honest.
That's the whole point of wrestling. You get cheap shots.
It's a cheap shot.
Whole MJF's career is off cheap shots. So
but people criticize him for it, don't they?
Yeah, but he does it every time. Ronda does it once. The boy does it every single time he has a camera on.
I thought it was a bit pointless, to be honest. I mean, he could have said something else, but
MJF can't even wrestle.
If you've got to get a reaction, that's more power to you, I guess. But
yeah, but MJF can't wrestle.
I like Ronda anyway, but
I want her to come back. I want her to come back.
I want her to come back as well. I think that she's still got plenty to give what she's even done.
Right, we're ending. We've been going on for ages. I'm sick and tired of looking at your face. You're doing me head in.
That's the first time I'm hearing that. I'm thinking that I missed something. I'm trying to think that I missed something I was supposed to mention.
I'm trying to think as well. I think we talked about it all.
Yes, you mentioned the Andrade thing.
Well,
should we talk about the Kate? Should we talk about the Prince Harry and the...
No, that's it. Thank you guys ever so much for joining.
All right. Okay.
That's non-wrestling, and I will go off on a rant about that. Thank you guys ever so much for joining us. Thank you, Gulam, for coming on. I'm going to talk to Gulam off camera because I want to do something special for WrestleMania week. The whole week I want to do something special, but we will see. But we will see you guys next week for another episode. Oh, this is where we will be reviewing Fastlane.
Oh yeah, that's this weekend. I just remembered.
Yeah. Do you know what the worst thing is? I've got to try and I'm not going to watch it live. I might watch it live. I don't know.
Oh man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might watch it the next day.
I'm debating whether to sleep or not because I've got work. Anyway, we'll see. But we will see you guys.
Use your head, mate.
No. We will see you guys next week where we'll be reviewing Fastlane and all the talking points. And we love you all, guys. Thank you guys ever so much for all the support you will see. Go and smash that thumbs up and go and make it the most liked WWE podcast video ever. Fuck knows where I'm going with this. Bye.